So ASHALAEV of Russia in the red, a European youth silver medalist, wins against Kazakhstan, Brazil and Iran. The win against Nascimento, Brazil, was impressive, as was the win against M69kg of Kazakhstan. ASHALAEV, one of those fighters who can kind of do it any which way. ABDULLAEV adopts a more kind of muscular approach, probably, but he's got good all-round skills as well. ASHALAEV in the red, as I say, boxing orthodox. ABDULLAEV stood southpaw and then has started off orthodox here. I've seen him do both over the course of the tournament so far. Good jab from ASHALAEV. Looking for that double jab there, ASHALAEV, and then the long right hand jab to the body. Those gloves are always on the move for ABDULLAEV. Leads off with a left hook quite often. ASHALAEV just looking for the 1-2 at the moment. ABDULLAEV trying to throw his own right hand back over the top there. He's used that right hand well so far, ASHALAEV. He's varied it up, sometimes just shooting it down the centre, other times starting it slightly higher, chopping down with it. And plenty of trading on the inside. And I would say that the Russian has just come off slightly better of the two. Turn southpaw now, ABDULLAEV. Just lost his balance slightly there, ASHALAEV, as he came forward. Good jab from ABDULLAEV. ASHALAEV just slightly slow with the right hand, right to the body there, and he's got caught by the left hand a couple of times, actually, in the last 20 seconds or so, ASHALAEV, right towards the end of the round here. That's interesting because he's been having some joy with that right hand, but a couple of times he was just a little bit slow, maybe bringing it back, and ABDULLAEV timed him. So 3 cards there in favour of ASHALAEV, 2 in favour of ABDULLAEV. He just had a bit of joy towards the end of that opening 3 minutes, so it's tight, this. And what happened in the closing stages of that round was particularly interesting because, as I said, ASHALAEV has done well with the right hand throughout the course of that 3 minutes, right up until the end there when he just reached for it a little bit. ABDULLAEV kind of tempted him in, took the weight back and caught him with the left hand, just there. Just made him stretch for it slightly. So this is an interesting technical battle. ABDULLAEV, I think, is better as a southpaw. Boxes more as a southpaw. He started off orthodox in this fight, maybe just to try and confuse ASHALAEV. It didn't really work. Looking for the 1-2 there, ABDULLAEV. There's that right hand, but he got caught again there, ASHALAEV. His weight just coming a bit too far forward, and it's fractions here. When you're boxing this kind of level, it really is fractions. You make a small mistake and you pay for it. He's got to keep that balance, ASHALAEV, because if he is slightly lazy with that right hand, slightly off balance, then ABDULLAEV will punish him. And he's got his feet back underneath him with it there, throwing it long to the body, but not coming forward with the chin. And there, just a short right to the body. He went for the left-hand counter there, ABDULLAEV, but didn't quite land it because ASHALAEV hadn't come in too far with the head. Jab there from ABDULLAEV was good. Just lost his footing slightly there, ABDULLAEV, I think. Good right hand. That's a solid right hand from ASHALAEV. Well timed as ABDULLAEV was looking to land the jab. There's that right again from ASHALAEV. Again, this has been another tight round. 30 seconds remaining. I would just shade ASHALAEV at this point myself. Right to the body there from the Russian. He's in red. ABDULLAEV of Uzbekistan is in blue. The concentration required by these two is immense here. They cannot afford to lapse at all. Right to the body, then right to the head for ASHALAEV. And whereas he finished that first round in a slightly slack fashion, he's not doing that here, and that should be enough, I think, to give him that second round. Well, still split, but he does get it, so he's got the lead, 20 points to 18 on 3 of those cards. Level on 1, down by a couple of points on the other. So ABDULLAEV has got it all to do here. He'll keep that one card he's got. He needs to convert that draw to a win, and he's got to turn around one of these 28 teams. We've had this scenario so many times over the last few days, and it's going to be extremely difficult for him to do it. What ASHALAEV has got to make sure he doesn't do is get a point deducted. There's absolutely no suggestion that that will happen because the referees barely had to get involved in this fight at all. So into the third and final round, ASHALAEV of Russia in the red, ABDULLAEV of Uzbekistan in the blue. And the onus is on ABDULLAEV to really try and make something happen here, or he will be going out and will have to be satisfied with a bronze medal. Right hand to the body there from ASHALAEV. Good jab there from ABDULLAEV. ASHALAEV is looking to try and back him up and put him under some pressure here. Just creeping forward with that front foot. He was doing that all fight. Right foot into the chest, into the throat almost. Just causes ABDULLAEV to stagger back into the ropes. Counter right hand was a good punch. The jab came out from ABDULLAEV He just held his feet slightly, and the referee's decided to give a standard count there. That was a really good right hand from ASHALAEV. You could see it momentarily maybe just stunned ABDULLAEV a bit because he was on his way in himself when it hit him. And again, he's caught one there. Not quite as bad that time. ASHALAEV really is a good fighter. He's very clever. He really brings the heat. You would look at him and think he's a traditional kind of pressure fighter, but that front foot is always on you, always crowding you. He's tall, he's got that reach. So whilst he might be just slightly out of your range, you're within his, and you know you are. There's that right hand again, followed by the left, and ASHALAEV is having a good final round here. Really good final round. Left hand there from ABDULLAEV was decent. So touch of gloves between the two at the conclusion of that fight. And it was a good fight. It was a good fight. ASHALAEV, though, has won it. He won that final round as well for me, which on my card would have made it 3-0. That good strong right hand caused the standing count. But it was a good technical encounter there. They were just right opposite each other, standing right in front of each other all the way through. Just trying to find those gaps, trying to set some traps, trying to see if they could draw a lead. It was really, really good to watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this semi-final, in the ring B, win on points with split decision from the red corner, Cheerav, ASHALAEV, Russia.
So 4-1 in his favour. Singapore went to ABDULLAEV. The other 4 going in favour of ASHALAEV. And he will face Zakharev in the final, which should be an interesting one, certainly. Ukraine versus